Okay, you said quite a few things that I want to clarify for myself and also for our listeners. So, first, the last thing you said about if you're selling an item at a discount, you should book the gross revenue as your sales and then post the discount you gave on that item to your, as you call, over the line, because for some orders you gave that discount, for the others you didn't. And then why is this important? It's important because when you compare your ad spend against your sales, you now have a better understanding of what you would achieve, but then you would need to add your discount on top of the ad spend. So that's where you get to see the true picture of what that advertising is costing you. Now, why is this different than just comparing your ad spend against your net sales? Why is that different?
Because you got to take out is if again, if it's truly giving you what it costs to get those sales, then it's the same. What I'm looking at, and again, in retail, we call this a marketing spend. So I total up my marketing spend, meaning that's my ad sales, that's my discount. If I do a 2-for-1, any type of promotional activity I do has to go on that same spreadsheet, because at the end of the day, it's going to affect your gross return on ad spend. It's going to affect your gross percentage of spend to sales, which people call tacos. And it's going to affect all of those metrics, which is what I live and die by. And every business should be looking at all the time. So the frustration is, and this is when CFOs get involved, because they ask these questions, because this is how they think about things. The marketing department, the e-commerce department, or the seller, it doesn't matter. They're building these things and they're jacked because they had a huge month. Their ROAS was great. Their total ROAS, their organic plus their ad attribute, they are flying high, right? But they were off 30%, Nick.
Yeah, well,
and they didn't put it in the report that they sent to the management, to the CFO or whoever, the bank. I don't care. They said you had a phenomenal month, but you know what? How much did you fund the 30% off? How many units did you sell at 30% off? Oh, I don't know. Well,
yeah.
then I don't really have the information I need to determine whether this is a profitable month or not, or a time period.
So I can see there are two scenarios there that automatically would be part of the consideration, which will then lead to your forecasting and your projections, frankly. So what you are saying is, so this, if we sold one item, I mean, one item being one SKU, and we sold that SKU at a discount all the time, at the same discount rate all the time, then this is a non-issue.
Right? This is easy.
But easy. Life doesn't work that way, right?
No.
So we are giving discount for 2 weeks. We are giving really heavy discount for 3 days, and then we are removing the discount. So what you are looking at is a blended picture at any point in time. So what you are saying is, if you establish your expectations for ACoS, TACoS, whatever, based on that blended number, you won't know what you're doing.
You won't know. So that's why we budget our funding. We budget, again, we have a forecast to actual. When we work on these businesses and we do these P&Ls and leading into our projections, our forecast, and our cash flow, I have a forecast to actual, and I have that for many years because I'm looking at historical trends, and I'm also want to know, I budget. Last year at September, Labor Day, or whatever the sale is, we sold 10,000 units at this discount. Well, this time we had to go 5% deeper on the discount, and I project we're going to sell about the same, maybe a little. And that dictates what my spend can be, what my sales goals can be. It generates everything.
Right. So this is such an important thing to easily overlook and then get hurt. So what that means is, in practical terms, when you're preparing, you download your Amazon report. What this means is this is what you need to do. You need to put add the discount that you've given onto the net sales, and then make that your top line.
Yes.
Number one. Number two, just below that, you must have two line items. One is discount, the other is your ad spend, and then the total. The net comparison of the total of the ad spend plus discount compared to your total sales, not gross sales, will be the same if you deduct the discount from the gross sales.
Yes.
But you know how human psychology is, and also how seasons are. Maybe this year when you are planning, this leads the discussion to now forecasting, is you decide, you know what, we're not going to give the 20% we gave last year. Then where does that bring us? So that's why it's important. And as you run tests, SKU by SKU or periodically on everything or whatever the case may be, then you will have a whole different picture coming out of this, right?
Absolutely. And this is, you start with the unit economics, right? Making sure we have a very simple spreadsheet that just has my landed costs on one side, and we just add everything up, your FBA fees, your estimated freight. I mean, the whole nine, just to get a starting point of, am I going to make any money? And then if you put in I know I can put in a budget of 20% of spend, 20% marketing to sales. Okay, boom, that comes off the line. It tells you very quickly if you're looking at an item and you have some competitive information to understand what you're really going to sell it at. You know, you're not going to sell it at 49. The market really is at 39 or what have you. That's the first step we talked about. And then you go in and just, I cannot tell you how many, I don't care what size of business it is. It could be largest business, it could be Fortune 500. The EVP of e-commerce, the marketing, the sell, they don't add in these true marketing costs to get the sale. They're just excited to get the sale. And then they get their butt kicked when the finance team comes in and asks them really tough questions, and then they have to do all this work.
Well, you know what that finance team looks like when you are a hardworking seller. It looks
you.
like the bank account, you know, having very little money. You've got the vendor bill due in a week's time. So it's just a real problem.